Welcome to Alien Theorists Theorizing Live, December 10th. I'm Braden.
I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
And joining us, we have our resident alien theorist, theorizing historian correspondent, Bandito Frito. I think that works, Dan, right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows more about the podcast than Bandito.
She knows more than all of us combined.
Yes, I think so. So we got a little weekly roundup. We just did Bandito. We did the Exeter Incident 303. Did you listen to that one yet?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Yes, I did. So it had the red lights, right?
Yeah.
And on Cosmic Channel, someone called in about the lights that they saw. And it got me thinking that, you know how, like, I think you mentioned that the red lights that we use is to help preserve our, like, night vision. What if it's the same kind of thing for them? What if they're using these different colored lights? Because that's what, light spectrum that they see best in. The red is actually a white light for them. And so they can see everything when there's red lights. Or they're using blue lights because it helps.
Oh, I didn't think of it like that. Like that's their flashlights. We're like, what are they shining these color lights? But really, I don't know if that checks out with science.
Lights, they're like, oh god, that's a horrible light.
But that would make sense, like with rods and cones. Like I don't know, maybe.
Well, how do we know they're seeing with rods and cones like we do?
I have no idea.
Seeing out their
that's
butts
what I'm
for
saying.
all we know.
That's what I'm saying.
Clue.
Why it could totally make sense.
Yeah.
Because why not? That would make sense. But why the pattern, right? Why the pattern to the lights?
Because they see in patterns.
Maybe it's some sort of like SOS. No, what's the actual word for it?
Morse code?
Morse code type of thing. Maybe they were communicating with other people, or maybe that's how they think we communicate because they heard, some SOS or Morse code signal from the past get translated out or something.
Sure. It could be some kind of Close Encounters of the Third Kind deal.
Yeah, it's a super interesting.
Yeah.
My favorite part about that case file, which if you're listening to this, came out 2 days ago, is just the fact, there's not a lot of times where you see a lot of effort from the officials to disprove it and fail miserably at disproving it, and then continue on. Because normally they just stick to their guns. They're like, hey, listen, you guys all got confused by the stars and Venus, and that's it. No matter what anyone says, they never move off that position. And in this one, they seemingly moved off of every position, and they're like, actually, you know what? It was this. And then at every turn, they're kind of thwarted, which I thought was... That was my favorite part. I was like, I've never seen a case where the authorities went through so many failed attempts to disprove what happened. It just lends so much credibility to me that there was, in fact, something they saw that night.
And that they were struggling to come up with different stories. They're like, oh, crap, what can we say next?
Yeah.
Is it this? No, wait, let's go with this story. Wait, no, this story. Wait.
The fact that they gathered people in a field and was like, we're going to turn on the lights so you can see. And then they turned on the lights and no one could see the lights. It was that's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I would have hated to have been that guy.
Right?
You 100%.
Give it a test run.
I can't, you would have thought someone would have been the night before in the field, I see him. We're good. This is going to work out as our explanation. No, it was one of the better ones in recent memory where I was like, oh, that's a,
it's because we don't. Because we don't talk about aliens anymore.
Yeah, we're more on the market. What are they called? MLMs now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, reverse funnel.
Reverse funnel and MLMs.
Boys, we're talking about some aliens tomorrow too.
Yeah, pyramid schemes.
Little fucking Jerry Springer stuff going on too. It's crazy. It's got it all.
With the Brooklyn, tomorrow we're talking. Monday we're recording live.
Aliens, sex, kidnapping,
UFO.
fucking everything.
It's wild. It's wild. Little everything. Whoever, I wish I remember that guy's name who said we never talk about aliens. There's 2 in a row for you. Suck it. Just kidding. He's probably left our Patreon now. No, that was cool. The other big news that I wanted to talk to everyone about is obviously the return of the king. Alex Jones back on Twitter. Finally,
Turn of the Mac.
Yeah. I think he was reinstated today.
Based off a poll.
Based off a poll.
That
Put it to the people, man.
Well, exactly. Because we live in a democracy.
I voted for him. And I voted for him.
So you and 7 million other people voted for him. Apparently,
how many people voted against him?
They said it was about 70%. People voted yes to put him back on. I don't think they've made an official statement as to whether he's bringing back the InfoWars Twitter, X, whatever. But yeah, like Jones is coming back. I don't think he's posted as of, I don't know, a couple hours ago. I don't know. Has he posted anything original yet? He just reposted some stuff.
No, he's just been reposting stuff. He hasn't started talking about how the frogs.
It's probably a surprise to him too. Like he probably didn't even know. he's got to rev up.
Bro, he has no idea. Machine. He's just been trying to tweet this entire time. And all of a sudden it starts going through.
He's like, what do you mean I've been banned? What? Just been typing into this phone. You know what? It's probably like us where you can't like get past the authentication anymore. It probably goes like, to like log in, like send the code you get from this 3-digit number from your phone. He's like, God damn it, I got banned a decade ago.
He's probably trying to get a hold of his lawyers right now and be like, what can I tweet that won't interfere with my fucking lawsuit, my like 100 lawsuits that I have running right now.
Well, he did sit down with an interview with Musk, and I listened to portions of it because he was on his best behavior, and I don't like him on his best behavior. I don't think, like, I listen to Alex Jones because I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, we want Alex Jones, like,
unhinged, completely unhinged.
Hacking at drones with a broadsword.
Yeah,
eating his neighbor's babies.
You need him on coke.
You know,
100%. Just absolutely shaking. It looks like his arteries he's like beet red. That's
tomato red.
Oh yeah, just absolutely fuming. Like that's
what
I sign up for. That's our Alex. Pig babies, Joe. That's the joke. Like hear him talk and be a reasonable person, and he's like, I'm like, ban him.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear that stuff.
I don't know who you are.
It'll be interesting. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, I don't think, like, unless you're, it's a slippery slope to just ban people. I mean, there's certain people maybe, but like, there's worse stuff on X than Alex Jones. I mean,
yeah, but not with as many followers as reaches him. So I don't know if it depends on whatever. I mean, violated terms and conditions. Like, it's a private platform. They can do whatever they want. Like, you could say freedom of speech, but it's a private platform at the end, and it can do whatever the fuck they want. Because otherwise, if you have them step in, that's a slippery slope, dude. When do you tell private corporations that they can't do what they want to do? I mean,
that's their new fucking whole ad campaign, though. It'd be like, we might not have Disney. But we got something else.
We got InfoWars.
We got InfoWars, boys. Fuck you, Bob Iger.
Yeah, Bob Iger's out there making frogs gay.
Could you imagine that's just his whole? That was the whole deal. Like, you can come back, but you got to direct everything towards Bob Iger.
Yeah,
everything. And Disney,
not Disney, just Bob Iger.
Straight up flame on Bob Iger. Just ready to go.
Remember those pig babies, Joe? Bob Iger's one of them.
I'm really not sure he can post a lot of stuff because it's like he's already owes 1.5. Was it 1.5 billion or 1.5 million? Or no. Forgot what he's like. What he's in the hole for?
Yeah, he owes. I mean, he probably has LLCs. All his companies are broke.
What if they bring him back just to review?
They're going after it.
What if they bring him back just to review Disney movies? Like, let's get Alex Jones reviewing the Marvels.
Oh, dude, that'd be great. I mean, I'm all for it.
No, he does. No, it's 1.5 billion in damages. 1.5 with the B.
Whoa, with a B.
You'd have to sell a lot of dick pills to get that money back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
A lot of gold coins.
Yeah. If you want to help Alex Jones pay off his lawsuits, I'm sure he has some
buckets of food that also work as toilets. Yeah.
It's going to be it'll be interesting to that sucks, man. Imagine someone sued Big Theory for $1.5 billion. We'd be ruined. Someone sued us for $1,500. We'd be ruined.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Your minimum Patreon would be $5 million a piece.
Yeah. That'd be our lawsuit tier.
Well, no, we got infinite money now. We're good.
Yeah, that's true.
How you can sue us?
I forgot about that. The other thing that I had Andrew kind of turned me on is, remember that? Did we talk about the house that blew up in Virginia?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Ben, did you see that?
In Arlington?
Bandito, did you see
Did you
that?
get down that fucking rabbit hole though?
No.
Yeah, I kind of went on it.
down it.
I saw some of the stuff that guys that linked that like unhinged LinkedIn that people found out about that guy. And that is a bizarre thing to find. It's a bizarre read on some of the stuff. I didn't read all of it, but I just read some of the stuff, and it's like the guy thought his neighbors were going to, or he believed that his neighbors were going to kill him because it was the anniversary of Pearl Harbor, like something along those lines.
Dan, so much.
You're only scratching the surface of like where that rabbit hole goes. If you dig deep enough on that Arlington explosion, it comes down to basically a world, like a global connected private spy agency is currently seeing all of their assets killed off one by one is basically what we're seeing. And that's what this was a hit on one of their assets.
It just blew up that whole house.
Yeah, they wanted to incinerate him.
It's a very covert way to do. Yeah, it's a very covert way to do that.
Yeah. They're like, no. Forget espionage now. We're going in, blow up the whole neighborhood. House. Yeah. It goes wild. Like if you go on, I mean, there's some crazy threads down there that you can pull it, go all over, talk about a cabal of like a spy agency cabal.
That his like neighbors were in, like, are his neighbors like surveilling him? As he was saying, oh man, I've read some of it, and I was like, whoa.
Well, his parents were fucking spies too. Like it's fucking oh yeah,
dude. He's like Peter. He's like Peter Parker, man.
Yeah, no shit.
Had no idea, right? Kingpin's after him. Bandito, you're on here. You said you had something for us.
Yeah.
What'd you bring today?
So I probably, like other people, listen to other podcasts. However, you guys are my favorite, and you're the only one that I pay to enjoy and interact with. So I was listening to another one, and they did this kind of short thing on the Kozyrev mirrors. Have you guys ever heard of those?
Kozyrev mirrors? No.
Yeah, Kozyrev.
Fucking communist mirrors? Thing. What?
Yes, no. It basically, it's a kind of a cool story, but it's these mirrors that this Russian made after being in a gulag for 10 years, completely isolated. He came up with this theory of, whatever, not particle theory, but something like that. Anyways, it's these sheets of aluminum that you make into these tubes. And then when you go inside of them, you're supposed to be able to time travel and experience all time at once. And when they were testing these, they would see the town that they were in Russia, saw UFOs all over their town. That 7 different times they saw 7 different UFOs. So it's a story that includes,
I mean,
time travel.
That guy looks
like
in a hot water tank.
It looks like something. It looks like something I found in a fun house.
Well, it's supposed to be really easily made, and I was thinking you guys should do maybe look into it a little bit. This is kind of just
I can go to a small town carnival to get that.
Pretty sure the same thing happens to me.
You can make one yourself, and then you can experience time travel, and
Well, I'm pretty sure the same thing happens to me.
Time travel every day.
When I'm in the fucking bathroom, and you fold the 2 mirrors on the sides, and you sit in the one in the middle, and you're like, look down, and you can see about 60,000 of you. It fucking takes me to a whole different dimension, man.
Infinite numbers of you, So but it's an interesting story. It's he never got to test it himself. Like I said, he was locked in a gulag for 10 years and came up with this theory on time travel and all this, and then Russia gave money to these scientists to actually do it after he died, and there's nothing really out there about it. It's it was not popular when it first happened, but there was some stuff on Russian state-run media, a movie about it or a documentary. And there's a few things that I found on YouTube about it and some stories, but I mean, it's not super well known.
I wonder if it's one of those things where it's if you think of almost like a reverse sensory deprivation tank where you're just because if you're in a sensory deprivation tank, you lay there, you kind of lose sense of yourself. When you're floating in the dark and the water's the same, you kind of lose sense of your body. And I've actually in the tank have felt like I've started to spin uncontrollably and like picked up, and I've had to like stick my finger out and touch the wall just to kind of center myself. And you're like, that's your mind just kind of like going. And I wonder if this thing's like the reverse. You're just like, it's just so much mirrored image. You're like, what's sensory amplification tank, basically. You're just like,
Well,
I feel like you just put on kaleidoscope goggles and just kind of it's just the same effect.
They put the symbol of peace or the peace flag or whatever that is into it, and then after that's when they started seeing the aliens or the UFOs, not aliens specifically, but UFOs. So I don't know. It's an interesting story. Now, is it true or not? Russia says it is. So we have to believe them.
Maybe it's
right?
maybe it's one of those ones where it's like maybe this is some sort of technology that we don't understand. We kind of talked about, like we've talked about before, where like the detonation of the atomic bomb, maybe that was something that, alerted extraterrestrials. And we kind of saw like big flaps around that time of when we were really experimenting with nuclear technology. Well, maybe something like this is like another one. They're like, oh, these motherfuckers have figured out mirrors. the old coily mirror.
We haven't been doing it for hundreds of years.
No, the coily mirror, the electric coily mirror. I'm looking at it.
The electric coily mirror. Yeah,
it's actually it's a patent. They have a Russian patent, RU21224466, device for the correction of man's psychosomatic diseases.
Sure.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a medical
antipsychotics.
He was developing it initially as a medical thing because it's supposed to heal you of medical problems and anxieties and all of that, but they said when they first
I could just go to the Bosnian pyramids for that. Why do I got?
Not if you're claustrophobic. But.
Yeah, just
well, true.
It's weird and interesting. The fact that they see, like, once they kind of ran it, then they're seeing UFOs. I'm like, maybe there's something to it that we don't know, right? Like maybe it's one of those things where I think we're going to have to try it. You're not wrong. It looks very easy to build. Like, just looks quite easy. Not a lot of
you just got to get some things.
What if it's like fucking Stranger Things, though? Like that fucking tank that little girl goes in, and the next thing you know, got fucking mind flayers running around. Like, we got to be careful with this shit. Maybe those aliens, maybe it's going to open the door to these aliens coming here. It's not worth it. Let me have my fucking, paranoid schizophrenia. Okay. I don't want fucking aliens here.
Interesting. That's a pretty wild one. Now I want to look into one. I want to watch.
It's a fun photo though.
Yeah. Well, the guy looks hilarious. Looks like he's ready for Tron. All hooked up to wires. He's like, I'm ready for time.
Ready to time travel.
Take me.
Astrophysicist. That's the word I was thinking of. He turned into a theoretical astrophysicist because he was locked away in the gulag for 10 years, completely alone, and he couldn't do anything other than just think. So he came up with this.
Aaron in the chat saying he believes that mirrors are portals to different dimensions. So maybe this is maybe that is some way to unlock it. I don't know. Maybe. Interesting.
Why not?
Got to curve the mirror, I guess, and then then you can have the reflection that waves back.
Well, I remember seeing this thing where it was like, this person was writing, like they were talking to their dad who's like a physicist, and they're like, what if you had a box of mirrors and it was just like all mirrors? What does it look like inside? And then the guy's like, what's the reflection of? And he's like, damn it. Like, it was puzzling. He was like, if that's stupid. And then he's thinking about it and he's like, I have no idea. And then he started to build this like mirror box to try to figure out what it would look like because there's nothing in there to reflect. And then he like dropped the camera in the box, and it's like one of the trippiest things you've ever seen in your entire life.
That's called a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
But I used to buy those things at the little natural wonder stores. The little window.
Dad's on his bed experiencing time.
Yeah. I'm like, I've been experiencing time travel since I was 12, going into the mall and just being like, yeah.
Interesting. Who knows?
I actually, you know what? It's kind of funny. It's I think one of my friends recently was talking about how his kids like had just gotten like a kaleidoscope, and she's like one or two or something, and it's funny to watch like little kids like interact with these things. And they're like, what is this? What is this sorcery? You know, oh God, like
it's devil's magic,
right? You know, they're in the putting it in that thing and they're just like tripping balls out on that thing, and you're just like, yeah, you've never seen anything like this. You don't understand what's going on. You know, and I forgot what she called it. Like something like it's like kaleidoscope, because they can't say kaleidoscope. It's just they come up with some word for it to refer to that thing. But it's just like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's an interesting thing to have.
I'd go in one if there was one in the town that like, you can sit in this, we'll charge it up. I'd be like, I'll experience all the time.
Go to your local sheet metal dealer,
roll yourself up in the well, there's obviously some sort of conductor,
your local aluminum siding guy, and be like, hey, can you just roll this out for me?
Yeah, I have a feeling that if I did this in my backyard, you're going to read an article about man cooks himself alive, slow cooks himself in aluminum foil.
Don't do it in summer.
I mean, this time of year it'll be okay.
Yeah.
No, Braden will get stuck in it. How do I get out?
Oh yeah. Dan, what'd you have for us tonight?
What did I have for it? Just some other things going on. It's just what is it? I am living in constant fear of the impending wild hog invasion from Canada, the northern Canadian hog massacre that is coming, because apparently we've talked about it before. The super pigs, like we've talked about them. They're essentially scary. These things are essentially cryptids because they're
bebops.
Yeah, they're these like mutant hogs that are just like running rampant all over. What is it? Parts of like right above like Minnesota, North Dakota, and Montana, like sitting on that border. And apparently, it's enough consideration that these states are like devoting a not insignificant amount of resources to try and stop these pigs from coming across.
Dude, the craziest thing to me is that I thought the pig invasion was like the pig issue was a US thing, because we literally get no pig news up north here. None.
They're covering it up, man. Yeah, they're covering it up.
We hear nothing about these pigs. Nothing. Like for how much
JT's a pig sympathizer, man.
Yeah. Just trying to blame us.
It's bizarre. Like I wasn't aware that pigs are actually like, they are not native to North America. Like they are an invasive species.
Yeah, they brought them
over from Europe, and dude,
I like people like videos, because we must have looked up like super pigs or typed it in or something. So like every now and then pig stuff will pop up on our algorithm on social medias, and it looks like Iraq like Marine footage. When these people are hunting these things, it's like
it's crazy
at dark, and they've got like heavy machine guns. They're like contact. They just hit the lights, and there's just hundreds of pigs, and they just start just start mowing down out of a helicopter. You're like, what is going on here?
Horrifying.
Like, this is wild.
They've been doing that in Texas for a while, right?
It's crazy.
And it's insane because, okay, so a sow, like a, female pig can have like 6 piglets in a litter, right? And then they can raise up to 2 litters a year. So they're saying that even if you killed like 65% or more of the pig population, like you could kill that much a year and they would still increase their population
every year.
And they're saying that.
So what you're saying is the tipping point is we got to kill 66% or more.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're saying that hunting these things makes it even worse, because the success rate for hunters is normally between like 2% and 3%. And they're saying that one just makes them like the ones that you do kill. It just makes them smarter. The ones that you do kill are the dumb ones.
I'll tell you this.
Like, you just make them better and stronger and faster.
The videos I've seen, they're doing better than 2 or 3%. They're like, holy, these guys are like have heavy.
Yeah, that's in Texas, guns. Bro. They got machine guns. We don't have that here.
Yeah. Here they're probably.
Aren't they learning though? The ones that you don't kill, they're going back to their packs and they're like learning the routes that the hunters are taking.
They're smart, so they learn to avoid those areas. They learn to like the ones that you don't kill.
Some of the smartest animals. I mean,
fuck. So they're like Saiyans. Like the more battles they get in, their power levels go up.
Exactly.
Fucked.
Yes.
Oh, it's crazy to me because I'm like, I feel like for as big of an issue it is as you read and you see these videos, and it's like they're coming from Canada. I'm like, where like is Manitoba and Saskatchewan just fucking overrun with these things and we don't even know? Like, do we have a sleeper cell pig invasion in the middle of Canada that no one's talking about? Well, like, is that big of it? Like, What's going on here?
Well, the crazy thing to me, it's like, this is something that not only is it something that's edible, but it's like a staple of most diets. Like pork is something that everybody eats on a regular basis. What are we doing here, boys? Let's get a fucking team together.
Yeah, that's
right. Like this, we could feed all of Canada and fix a fucking problem. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, how come bacon's so expensive, Dan?
Yeah.
You're telling me we got an invasion. We're mowing these things down. How come I'm still paying over $10 for a pack of bacon? That's crazy.
It's because they're covering it. Yeah, they're keeping it from you guys.
When these things start to crest the Rocky Mountains, then and swim across the Georgia Strait,
we're gonna be in trouble
to Vancouver Island. Then I'll be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, they can swim. Pigs are good swimmers.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. There's some narrows that they could cross for sure.
But you know what? Maybe that's low key why we're just letting the fucking grizzlies go. We're not hunting grizzlies anymore because we're preparing. We're
building the West up. We're building the Western resistance.
Your bear army.
Yeah.
Dude, well, we talked about how literally after we said prepare for news of someone getting mauled by a grizzly, like a tree planter got mauled by a grizzly. These things are fucking mean, and they breed like crazy. And they're giant killing machines.
Yeah. They're setting them up for the bears for the boars.
The Battle of the Rockies.
Fuck yeah, we're ready.
Super pigs versus grizzly bears. Oh boy, I'm on it.
I'll take grizzly bears all day.
Oh yeah, good dude. Why? How many pigs are there though?
How many pigs?
They got
how many pigs?
Yeah, a bear could get overwhelmed by the pigs.
How many though? Like think
things
about
are
that.
mean.
Yeah, but how many of them takes one grizzly?
They got the little tusks.
Doesn't matter. I've grizzlies taken out 10. Easy.
Yeah, the grizzlies. I mean, the grizzlies messing them up.
But a grizzly's like what? They have maybe 2 cubs, usually 1, but maybe 2.
They usually have 2, and maybe 1 survives if they're lucky.
Yeah, and that's what per year, and then you've got 12 boars a year.
Yeah, but we're also helping the grizzlies by open season on the pigs.
It's true. I mean, you thin them out a little bit. I don't know. You could be riding on the back of bears, just charging into hordes of boars.
Isn't Russia, Dan?
The nomadic Yeti says another cover up by Big Pig. Yeah. He's like, these things are basically Pigfoot.
That's good.
That's good.
When I was looking for that story, there was another one that said some guys had caught a pig, a pig that had been on had been missing, or it had gotten loose at some point. I forgot what state it was in. They called it, they're authorities capture pig that's been missing for 2 months, named Albert Einstein. And I was like, that was pretty good.
We got a question from the chat. Jacob Wilkinson asks, what do you guys think about the Men in Black? Do you think they're real? Yeah, I mean,
there's 4 movies about them.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
There's 4?
100%. I think
he's a Man in Black.
It's 4.
There's 4 fucking Men in Black movies?
Yeah.
What? There's Men in Black, the original, Men in Black 2,
International, right?
Men in Black 3, and then Men in Black International. Yeah,
that's 4 Men in Black movies.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
No, I definitely think they're real. I mean, it's probably some sort of 3-letter agency most of the time, or some subsidiary of a 3-letter agency where they're like, hey, we need to go investigate these things, or they're, trying to cover I would always point the finger at the CIA just from all the shady shit they've done, where it's they go to a house and especially if someone saw some undercover, tech that they weren't supposed to be what you think you saw, you did not see, all right?
Making coins disappear,
shake them down a little bit. To me, that has CIA kind of written all over it. But what do you guys think? MIB real?
It probably doesn't help things. Probably muddies the water a bit that it's pretty simple to kind of pose as the Men in Black, like a G-Man. Back then, you could really just flash an ID supernatural style, just and people would be like, "Oh, okay, don't talk about this to anybody."
Black Ray-Bans on.
Yeah, just because you want the exclusive on the story or something like that, or you just don't want to tell the people who you are. You just go in there and. It could possibly be that. So do they exist?
They aren't on any government list. They straight don't exist.
But maybe they're remember when they were first being described, they were wearing the weird clothes, they had lipstick, all that type of stuff, looked like they were wearing costumes. Maybe they were aliens themselves, right? Trying to cover stuff.
Maybe those
maybe
originals,
they were never working. Maybe they never worked for the government. Maybe they were literally their job were plants here from whatever, alien species to cover their fucking tracks. right? Like their damage control of whatever, oh, these people have had an encounter. We got to cover it up.
I definitely think some of the early stories that we've heard of Men in Black, they are like, you almost get a description of like that uncanny valley. You're like, these guys are.
Be careful with the descriptions. It's a touchy one. It's a fucking touchy one.
Pale, right?
Yeah.
No names, no fingerprints.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could be the dudes from Fringe or whatever, like the little bald guys walking around from a different dimension. I don't know.
Could be the
like,
three of us.
Just be like this. Could just be dudes like. Could be intergalactic police. Could be just like dudes coming down here being looking for a certain extraterrestrial. Like, hey, you saw something? Like, hello, human. I am also a fellow human.
And we definitely know there's been agencies that have been dissolved and stuff that were like looking into these things. So like to say that, some of these encounters were possibly from these agencies. I mean, I definitely think the Men in Black, because the Men in Black, I don't think the Men in Black, hold on, let me clarify the question. I don't think there's a secret branch of the United States government called the MIB where they have some sort of underground layer where they like are.
Where they dance,
they dance and they got little worms running around. But I definitely think there's probably like, these people who have gone and visited contactees to try to shake them down or give them false information. So in that sense, I do think they exist. Were they all from the same agency? Likely not. There's probably been different forms of different agencies. That's kind of my thoughts on that. But we got a nice little tip from that white GTI. Thank you. He said, grab some beer on me, lads. No problem. We will do just that.
Thanks, buddy.
Bandito, what are your thoughts? Men in Black.
Have they been seen recently is the question for me. Because I would say more now, if they're not Men in Black, they're going to be more of like a Mulder Scully kind of thing where they're just like regular looking people going out trying to investigate or get information. Because it would make more sense to have them at this point blend in and try to like spread that disinformation or, hey, you didn't really see this, or hey, that couldn't have been what it was, because everybody knows, the Men in Black. And so why would you continue with the same look if you don't want to propagate it? Right.
Well, it's like they don't even have to go out there anymore. They can just sit on the internet anonymously.
Yeah, it's true. And then sow the seeds of doubt.
Well, yeah, that's
it's all the Men in Black are behind keyboards now.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
So who says you're not one or I'm not one? Right?
Oh, whoa, cut her off. Whoa. She's getting too close to the truth here.
We know what you're all about.
No, that's an interesting thought, because I'm trying to think of recent ones where like people have kind of described Men in Black, but it's like, to be honest, the term Men in Black, it's just a term used for like people we didn't know coming around and asking questions. Like that's realistically like what a lot of the descriptions of the Men in Black is just people who we didn't know who they were or who they worked for asking questions, and they're like Men in Black. And so it's like, maybe it's just a newspaper people coming around. Like, so a lot of it, it's very like, there's a huge gray area for what would, you could count as Men in Black. So it's anytime anyone sees anything in town, I dress up and I go ask questions anytime. Yeah. Like, I think it's your duty to create some mystery in the world, and you should go out and be that mystery.
I'm not even sure like which agency would wear like black suits. Like you would really just wear like a nice like brown suit or something like that. Like,
I don't think there's a requirement on the suit color.
Black is keeping it clean.
Who's walking around?
Black is the color to wear. If you're going to wear, I'd say black or navy blue.
Brown suit in 2023?
Maybe like not in 2023. I'm talking back then. Like,
powder blue.
No, maybe.
Yeah, blue. I can see blue with some brown shoes, brown belt.
But you want to go wear black like if you're investigating something in like the Nevada desert, you don't want to wear black. It's be hot as fuck. You just be like,
but you're fucking badass.
You're not wearing a fucking tan suit.
You look professional.
Yeah, you can wear a powder blue suit. I'm saying a powder blue suit.
Okay, powder blue.
Yeah, out in the middle of the desert or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You're investigating in summertime. Like it's got to be like a summer outfit. I'm sure.
I am Groot saying in the chat.
You just say blue.
Maybe full corduroy
it's
suit.
It's MIB. They could be Men in Blue. They could be Men in Black. And it's just like, so it just like,
so but we can't be MIT. The full jean suit.
Full denim. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys have the Men in Blue jeans.
Yeah. The Men in it's the MID. Men in denim.
The Men in. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sounds right.
Peter Cross is saying, freelance Men in Black on your spare time. Yeah, I encourage everyone to moonlight as a Men in Black.
There's nothing wrong with asking questions.
No,
right?
Nothing. No. And when people ask ID, you should get cagey and jumpy and leave immediately.
Yeah.
Right?
You should bring briefcases full of random photos of UFOs and leave it on their table for them for people to stumble upon.
Pull a quarter from your ear, make a coin disappear,
Yeah. Have a set of handcuffs that you handcuff the briefcase to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then leave it there as you go to the bathroom. Leave it on the table.
Can I take this off? It's really uncomfortable. And then you crack it open before you go. No password on the briefcase.
Don't look in here and just like go unlatch it and like leave. Don't look in there. Just like walk out of the
room. Dan, I saw something about the Disneyland streaker.
Yeah. What? So apparently, okay. So
I saw the video. I saw a guy,
video.
Yeah, a guy streaked in Disneyland, and he got like, as you can imagine. They're like, no one dies in Disney.
They bring him to the downstairs, like the part you don't see, the underground.
That's what the whole thing is. So apparently, some stuff's kind of either been circulating among the conspiracy circles that people were talking about connecting this guy to like the underground tunnels of Disney World, which are an actual thing. Like
Disney World, or is not Disneyland.
And Disney, like these places, like they do have a vast network of underground tunnels, so people can move from place to place. And they say, it's mostly so to make the scene better. You don't have like people moving from place to place.
All the garbage and shit goes underneath. Buddy, all you gotta do is watch Beverly Hills Cop 3
too. For like the characters can
Beverly Hills Cop 3 gives you the whole inside look at it.
Any of like the theme parks and stuff like usually have those kinds of underground networks. But they're saying that this guy. They're saying that, there was like some type of like kidnapping allegations that started around like mid-November. And then they had these there was like a deep fake video of a podcaster, and they might be familiar with him. His name's Joe Rogan. There was like a deep fake of Joe Rogan going around that made these allegations of like these kids disappearing, or like a 4-year-old disappearing, in a bathroom by herself, and then she ended up like climbing down a secret staircase like with an unknown adult male, just kind of real general stuff like that. But they said like this deep fake by Joe Rogan got circulated quite like it would, and then a lot of people kind of started going off on that, asking a whole bunch of crazy stuff about all these things. And like Disney was like, I think they had to respond and be like, yeah, no, we have tunnels, but none of that's ever happened.
No, whenever we have kids come down there, we just feed them to the alligators. Fucking problem solved. Fucking gonzo.
Yeah. And then we put them in then we put their corpses in part of the, it's always, what's that?
Small world after all. Didn't some kid get attacked by an alligator?
Died.
Yeah. There was one in the Caribbean displayer, right? Or was it Treasure Island?
And it killed a kid?
No, I heard it. I thought it was like at a Disneyland resort or something like that.
Oh, maybe it was at a resort.
That's right. It was at Disneyland Resort. Yes, I do recall that.
There was an alligator attack.
I tell you, I bet they culled every alligator in a 50-mile radius of the resort after that. It's funny, like as you said that about the secret staircases and stuff, a video popped up like this. One of the most, every now and then I'll see like these like PSA videos pop up on Twitter and Instagram of like, keep your kids safe. And it'll say something like this is what parents should do. And there's this one where it was like, why you like never let your kids go down a water slide unattended. And it was like, it showed like a hotel water slide. So like literally like 2 swirls into the pool. And then there's like a 12-year-old girl, and this like grown man comes as like, excuse me, can I go down first? And she's like, okay. And so he goes down, and then the slide attendant goes, all right, go ahead. And the girl goes, and then it just shows her going around the first corner, and the guy's just spidered in the slide. And he's like, ah! And I was like, There's one loop you would in like 2 seconds you'd be like, hey, how come she hasn't come down? You like the next person that goes down is going to crash into all of them.
Yeah,
like I was like, this is
Braden has managed many a water slide. So I mean,
oh, dude, I know.
So
yeah,
Braden's our
you deal with any fucking
water slide specialist.
Pool pedos while you were there?
Oh no, I used to be the spider guy.
You were the pool pedo.
No. So funny, like honestly, if you understand the trajectory of water slides, like if you slow yourself down at a corner and you kind of like scooch down right at the corner, so when people ride up the side, you can spider on the inside of the corner, and then just so as they come around the corner, you'd be like and like just scare them as they're like up on the edge. It makes for a funny laugh for everyone. I used to do that all the time growing up.
This video is just you.
PSA was about me.
Yeah.
Careful on the corner.
Somebody like reliving a story of Braden on that water slide. This is a reenactment of
Shadowers. He says, sent a nice little tip in. It said, my favorite band of weirdos. Yeah. What do we have anything? What else do we have? Anything else before we...
quick update on the Mexican alien corpses. Apparently,
they're
Jamie Mousen, the cake aliens. Jamie Mousen trotted out apparently a couple of researchers to speak on their DNA findings of the corpses. So according to these researchers who come from an unnamed university, I believe, and not really, they weren't really clear on their credentials as what they are, but they said that 30% of the specimen's DNA is unknown or not from any known species.
Interesting.
Which is
because it's from paper mache.
Yeah. That's why.
Did they do the FDA analysis on that cake batter?
Yeah.
Saltless. Came back saltless.
Yeah.
I had a quick rush hour.
Confetti cake.
I had a quick Grush hour update too. I saw that Avi Loeb started to weigh in on Grush.
Oh, fantastic.
Avi Loeb was just like, basically said he's like, I think he's sincere, but like he doesn't know anything. And he believes it. And, he's sincere, but the people feeding him information maybe have ulterior motives. Holy shit. I've never seen a guy get piled on so quick. like
I would imagine he's used to it at this point.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Avi Loeb's a absolute.
He's getting money for his project.
He's like, I got tenure. I don't care. I'll say whatever I want.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Like there was a huge Twitter thing of being like, you don't know shit. You still don't even know what a muamua is, you idiot. People screaming at him. I was like, this is why I love X, and we can't let it die. This is the only time you can call a Harvard professor an idiot.
Big middle finger to you, Bob Iger. You won't stop us. Or you guys, I don't have X.
But we do have lots of cool stuff coming up at Alien Theorists Theorizing. We got a Brooklyn Bridge UFO. We have Cosmic Channels are back Thursday night, 6 p.m. We got right after this, we're recording Confidential, the CIA vampires, a little story about how the CIA,
contracted Count Dracula.
Yeah, contracted Count Dracula and sent an army of asswanks to disrupt the Philippine government. So that's always interesting.
Fucking dope.
Yes, it's a wild one. Bandito, anything else before we got anything to plug or what you want to say before we sign this one out?
God, the way you introduced me today, I wanted to come in saying, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I didn't get a chance. So it's been good, but no, I don't have anything else. Thanks for having me on. And I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Bandito. Awesome. And if you're on our Discord or our Patreon, the tier levels. You message Dan, and we'll put you. That, you know what? Hold on, I got some phone to pick. I messaged Dan, and I was like, "Hey, do we have anyone lined up?" And he goes, "No, Bandito can't come on. She bailed." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "So it's just going to be me and you, maybe?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's fine." And he's like, "Should I quickly message anyone?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why don't you shoot a message on Discord?" Dan shoots a message on Discord. Not even half a second You reply, yeah, I'll come on. I was like,
I know.
Dan messaged me. He's like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? Am I crazy here?
Why you make me a liar?
No, I was going to wait. December is crazy at the post office, and I thought I might be a little bit extra tired tonight because I got up at 3 a.m. this morning to go to work. But I got a nap in after work before my football game, so I figured since you didn't have anybody else, I'd jump on and get my turn out of the way. Nope. Can we come again, though, if we wanted to, if we don't get anybody?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Appearance? Okay.
Yeah, you can put your name back on the list. So if you want your name on the list, message Dan on Patreon or on Discord. He'll run you through the steps. Pretty easy. Microphone.
It's easier on Discord. I get those messages right to my phone.
Microphone, camera. You got to bring one thing. That's it. Anything else before we go? No? All right. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies. Peace.